there, welcome to Yoga with Amber Kleid. I, of course, am Amber, and today we're going to be doing a flow to open up through the shoulders and our hips. You'll need a strap. If you don't have a yoga strap, that's fine. You can use a dog leash, a bathrobe tie, even a towel, but make sure that it's not so wide that you can't grip on it, so like a thinner towel. You can even use a tie, like for a man's suit, if you can, as long as it's long enough that you can kind of spread your arms a little bit. Blocks come in real handy. I like to use my blocks in my practice, and also if you require knee comfort, then grab yourself a towel or something that you can rest your knees upon during our practice today. Thank you so much for being here. If you like this practice, please don't forget to subscribe, leave me a comment. I read them all, and I'm so appreciative of each and every one of you that comes here to do my yoga practice. So today we're going to begin in our child's pose. And I've got my blanket here for my knee comfort. So in child's pose, if for some reason your hips don't reach back to your heels, not a big deal, you can also take a blanket and rest it between your calf and your thigh, and that can kind of give you a little bit more comfort where you can lean your hips back, but you don't feel like you're kind of floating back there and leaving stress in other places. So reaching the hands out. If your forehead does not reach the floor, grab a block or a book and rest your forehead on top. I am a super advocate for being comfortable, so find a space that feels comfortable for you. And we're just going to be here for a few moments, and we're just going to rest and breathe. And since we're just getting into our practice, I would love to invite you to just take a few deep breaths. You can also, and your thighs will tell you which one will feel better, you can spread your knees apart and bring your toes together. And that will give you a better space to rest your belly in between, if that's something that calls to you. So once you get yourself rested down into your child's pose, begin with those deep breaths. And we're going to try to aim to draw the breath into the back of the ribs. And release through the mouth or the nose, sighing it out, breathing in again. And soften through the breath. Feel the chest move down to the ground just a little bit more. One more time, big breath in. Feel those shoulder blades move apart from one another. And then softening back down. And begin to notice any parts of the body that might be talking to you. And just witness them. Say, hello, I see you. Thank you for saying hi. And of course, if there's any pain or discomfort, please shift and find a space that feels good. Just keeping in mind, sometimes when we stay rested in positions for a while, it takes our body to a few moments to get used to it. So you might feel stretches in different parts of the body that you don't normally feel. You might feel a little bit more tension or tenderness. As long as there's no pain, see if you can allow yourself to breathe through and give yourself permission to relax. You are safe. And just send yourself that little extra reminder that you are loved and taken care of.
And while we humbly bow down in our child's pose, this might be a good time to set an intention for yourself today. Something that you can cultivate on the mat. And then with love, take it with you as you take your practice off the mat into the rest of the world. Out of our little yoga bubbles, into our work day, into the space we share with our family, friends. Yoga teaches us to be aware of ourselves, the way we are in the world. And it's been in my experience that the more I share of myself, the more awareness I feel within myself, the more I see people around me also doing the same. It's like this beautiful ripple effect that I am so happy to be a part of. Let's take a few more breaths here. See if we can iron out any other spaces of tension, any monkey mind thoughts that might be interrupting. And allow yourself to be in the moment. So if you have your knees spread wide, go ahead and draw them underneath you. And we're going to walk our hands forward and make our way into our puppy posture. So the hips are towards the ceiling and the arms reach out and we let our heart move to the earth. My shoulders are feeling this one today. So if you're finding this shape a little difficult, a couple of variations, you can pull your elbows back just a little bit more. The idea is we want our heart to move to the ground, so it's not necessary that the the fingers are spread all the way out towards the front of the mat. Or if you have blocks, you can set them up and rest your forearms on top and then relax your head and heart down. Taking a couple of breaths here. And then from here, let's actually take 2 more breaths here before we move on. Okay, from here we're going to move into rabbit. So we're going to draw our forearms back. So we're kind of, elbows are underneath our shoulders. And we're going to bring the top of our head to the ground, and we're not going to drop our weight onto our head. We should feel supported in the shoulders and the neck by the arms. So on the top of the head, we're just going to gently roll forward. So start to move your hips forward until you start to roll to the back of the head. And hopefully you feel a nice little stretch along the back of the neck, maybe even all the way down to the low spine. And then roll it gently back. Go ahead and come into a child's pose if that feels good for you. Take 2 breaths here. And then let's come back into our rabbit, dropping the top of the head down and rolling forward, supporting yourself with your arms. And then rolling back. Good. Go ahead and draw your palms down to the earth and straighten out the arms so you come into a nice tabletop position. We're going to take our thread, we're going to thread our needle is what we're going to do. We're going to thread the needle. So resting the left hand down on the ground, we're going to take the right hand and we're going to take a nice deep inhale, lifting up to the sky. And then we're going to exhale and thread the right arm underneath the left arm. And exhale, letting the shoulder relax down, but we're not going to stop here. On your next inhale, you're going to come right back up, opening up through the chest. And exhaling, bringing it back down. So we're opening up a little through the upper spine. And then one more time, inhale, draw it up to the sky, right hand to the sky, and then exhale. This time we're going to rest for a few breaths. So if the head does not reach the mat, you can rest it on top of a block. I'll demonstrate that real quickly here. And also, if you feel that if you can bring your head down to the ground, but your shoulder feels like it's being squished, then go ahead and use the block as well. Left hand's going to reach towards the front of the mat, and you're going to press lightly with a little bit of pressure into your knees. So our whole body feels a little bit of activation here. Let's take one more deep breath in and exhale, drawing the left hand towards your nose. Press into that palm. Set yourself back up in your tabletop position, knees under hips and your wrists underneath your shoulders. And let's try for the opposite side. Big inhale up, left hand to the sky. And then exhale, left hand threads the needle underneath the right and release the full breath. And then inhale back up. And exhale down. Let's do that one last time. Breathing in and up. And exhale. Relax it down. Same thing goes on this side. Use the block if you need it, and this side might feel a little differently. You may or may not need the block. Outstretch the right hand and press gently into your knees, sending a nice little vibe of activation through the whole body. And you might even tuck in that low belly just a little bit. Just pull it in towards the spine just a touch. 3 deep breaths. On your next inhale, pull that right hand in and press yourself up. So good. Go ahead and, if you're using that block, go ahead and set it up at the top of your mat. And we're going to move our right foot forward and we're going to come into a low lunge. Now this is great for the hips. If you are comfortable, you can walk that left knee back. Release the back toes. And we're going to take our hands and draw them onto our right thigh. And we're going to lift up the chest. And you can drop into that front hip, dropping your hips down just a little bit. And I just want to make note
that it's good to be able to see your front toes. So if your knee is really shooting off towards the front of the mat, if it doesn't hurt, it's probably not an issue. But I would like to just mention and keep it in mind that it's better for the knee to be a little bit more near your ankle. And so you can see your toes. So once you get yourself settled here in a comfortable position, let's draw the hands up to the sky. Relax those shoulders. Bring those palms together, take an inhale, and we're going to take a twist. So dropping left elbow on top of the right thigh. If that feels like too much for you, just draw yourself up into a nice little twist here. Bringing the palms together. Lengthening through the crown of the head. Take one more inhale. We're going to draw the hands to the sky. And we're going to exhale, and we're going to bring both hands on the inside of your right foot. And we're going to heel toe that right foot off to the side. If you can, draw the heel off, or keep the heel on the mat. Draw your toes off the mat. Your hands are going to come down, and we're going to find our lizard pose. So this may be what feels good to you. If drawing the foot out as far as I've asked you to feels like it's too much, just heel toe it in just a little bit. Couple of options here. You can use your blocks. You can draw your forearms down on top of your blocks. I think this one's my favorite one. If you have the flexibility, you can take your forearms all the way down to the ground. You can turn your back toe under, lift up that back leg if you want to play with a little bit more strength. It's up to you. Listen to your body. This shape is not the easiest, especially if you have tight hips. So please be careful and just listen to what your body is saying. Like I said, it's not going to be the most comfortable pose, but we're just going to take a few breaths here. All right, one more breath. If your back knee is up, go ahead and bring it down. And we're going to bring our hands down to the ground. And we're going to walk that right foot back into the center. And then we're going to walk our hands to the left. So we're going to kind of make a little twist here. Take your right foot and we're going to follow your hands. And then we're going to swing that left foot back. Turn those toes under, and you're going to lift up your leg, and we're going to come into a nice wide leg forward fold. So bringing the fingertips down to the ground, finding a nice flat back. Please be careful not to hyperextend through the knees. Toes are pointed forward. And then from here, we're going to drop into our right knee. So bend the right knee. And in our left leg, you're going to hopefully get into a stretch on the inner thigh, pressing the outer edge of the left foot out. And then using hands for balance, you're going to walk them back to center, straighten out the right leg, and we're going to move into the left leg. So left knee is bent, right leg is straight, getting into that inner thigh. And then inhale, come back to center, and we're going to exhale to the right one last time. Inhale, come back to center, and move into that left knee. And then we're going to walk our hands back towards the left foot. Turn the left foot to the back of your mat. Flip the heel of the right foot up, drop that back knee. So we're just going to do everything we just did on that, on the other front of the mat, on the back of the mat. Relaxing your right toes, bringing the hands to your left thigh, relaxing your shoulders, and notice in your hips if this side feels a little tighter or a little looser. And just be wary, you know, if you want to be at a 90-degree angle, that is totally acceptable. If you want a little bit more stretch in those hips, dropping them down, you can walk that right knee back just a little. Good. All right, when you're ready, hands come to the sky. Exhaling, relaxing the shoulders back, tucking your belly in, relaxing the tailbone down. Bring those palms together. Take a deep breath in when you're ready. And as you exhale, we're going to take a twist. Breathing here. Legs should be active. And then on the next inhale, raise the hands to the sky. And exhale, float the hands down on the inside of your left foot. And we're going to heel toe the left foot off to the side. I forgot my blocks on the other side, but that's okay. I'm going to just hang here with my palms down, arms straight, and I'm going to choose to lift my back knee. But there are all those other options. You can bring your forearms down to the ground. You can leave your back knee down. It's totally up to you. We're going to rest here and breathe. You can find a little movement in your neck here while we're waiting, or while we're breathing. We're not really waiting. Take one more breath. Drop that back knee. If you haven't already, we're going to heel toe the left foot forward or into the center of the mat. We're going to take our left hand to the outer edge of the left foot. We're going to find a little rock here, and we're going to bring ourselves into a forward fold. So we're going to bring that right foot forward. So finding that forward fold here. My hamstrings are super tight, so my knees are bent a little bit. Yours might be as well. Or you might have flexibility and you have straight legs. Everybody's a little different. So if you have your strap close by, go ahead and grab it, drop your booty down, and roll yourself up. Good. If you didn't have your strap close by, that's fine. You can go ahead and grab it right now. And then I'm going to come into just a nice mountain pose here. And I'm going to take my strap and I'm going to bring it behind me. And for now, I'm just going to bring my hands maybe about a fist width apart. Fingers facing out. Kind of lifting and lowering the shoulders back. We're going to reach down and open up through the chest here. Fingers or the hands are kind of pulling the strap taut. So hands are pulling away from one another. Gaze might be to the sky, or you can look forward. And relax the shoulders. Go ahead and roll them a little bit. We're going to bring that strap forward this time. And we're going to find a little bit wider pull here. Bring the feet about hip distance apart and pull the strap taut. So lots of activation in our arms. And we're going to take an inhale, lifting the strap above the head, pulling, pulling, pulling. And exhale. Let the arms come back. We're engaging in the belly, protecting our low back. Tailbone is relaxed. Take an inhale when you're ready. We're going to reach the strap up and exhale, bring it back down. Still pulling, 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 pulling. Let's do that again. Inhale, strap up. And exhale, pulling, pulling, pulling. Only go back as far as feels comfortable here. And then inhale up and exhale down. We're going to do one more of these, breathing in and up. And exhale. Last time, inhale, bring it up. And exhale on the way down. Good. Let the strap loosen. Let's roll our shoulders a little bit here. We're going to do one more thing with the strap. So this is cow face arms. So you're going to take the strap above the head, relax the left hand, relax the left side of the strap down. And you're going to reach down and around with the left hand. The right hand's going to stay up. And so depending on your flexibility, you might be able to draw the strap close, 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 a little bit closer in the center. If you don't need the strap in this pose, you are welcome to just clasp your hands. And you're going to tuck in that low belly, relax the tailbone, and you're going to pull. Pull the hands away from one another. Breathe. Soft breath. Pull, pull, pull. One more breath here. Release, nice and slow. And we're going to do the opposite. So hands come back up. Release the right side of the strap. Reach behind you with the right arm. And walk your fingers to the center of the strap. As close as you can get. And don't worry how close you might be or how far you are. Come to that comfortable space. Lengthen through the spine. Hug in that low belly. Relax the tailbone. And again, we pull. Pull the hands away from each other. So you're getting a nice little tricep stretch here. Opening up through the shoulders. Strengthening the arms. Lots of benefits. And breathe. Pull, pull, pull. One more breath. Whew. Relax. Slowly release the arms down. We are done with our strap, so go ahead and rest it down. Shake those arms out. We got one more to do. So we've opened up the shoulders backwards. So we're going to give them a chance to kind of round through the back and open up through the upper trapezius muscles. So we're going to do eagle arms. So reaching the arms out in front of you, we're going to take our right elbow and we're going to rest it on the inside of our left elbow. We're going to turn our palms out from one another and wrap them around one another. Now, if that's not possible, if you are here, that's perfect. If you want to be here, if having the arms reaching towards the sky feels too intense, just rest your palms on your shoulders. But if you can, wrapping your left fingertips into your right palm. And maybe once you're here, you can lift the elbows and take your fingertips and kind of move them forward. Now, if it's in your practice, you're welcome to also play around with eagle legs. So you're going to wrap the right leg around the left, and maybe you have the flexibility, you can curl your toes around the back of your calf. You can also just place your toe, cross the legs, place the toe on the ground for some extra stability. Hugging into that low belly to protect the low back, but also for extra support in our balance as well. One more breath. As you exhale, you're going to unwind, take a big breath, open those arms out, and relax it down. Let's do the opposite side. So reach the arms out, left elbow in, palms turn out, and then wrapping the right fingertips to the inside of the right palm. And then you can lift the elbows, let the arms move away from the body just a little bit, the hands move away from the body. And then if you're really feeling it, you can take that left leg, cross it over the right, and find your eagle legs. Connecting to that core to help with stability, maybe the toes on the ground. Breathing in. One more breath. And as you exhale, unwind, big open heart, and relax those arms down. Let's find some shoulder rolls. Woo-wee. Little shoulder rolls forward or back, whatever feels good to you. And then switching directions. Awesome. So let's go ahead and find the front of our mat again, and we're gonna need a block, or you can use your blanket. We're gonna do a supported bridge when we get down to the ground. So slight bend in the knees. Let's take a big breath in and up, fingertips to the sky. Go ahead and bring those palms together, and as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. And exhale, release the hands to the ground, releasing the knees down. We're going to take that block and we're going to drop down to our booty, let our legs come out in front of us. And we're going to take our block and we're going to rest it, not at the low back. I'm going to lift my butt up here in a second, but you're going to want to rest it right here, along, like underneath, right around your tailbone here. So I'm going to rest back, lift up my hips, place the block right where it's going to feel a little bit comfortable. Again, not on the low back. And then you're going to release the legs out long. So we're kind of getting a nice little stretch through the hip flexors here, maybe even deep down into the psoas. If you want a little bit deeper stretch, take your hands and reach them out behind you. We're just going to take a few breaths here. 5. Just relaxing and softening into this stretch. So like I said, you can also use a blanket for this instead of a block. You can also, if this feels too intense for you, you can bring your feet to the mat. So this is more of a constructive supported bridge pose. You won't necessarily get as much of a stretch in your hip flexors. Or underneath your ankles, as you stretch them out, you can, let me see if I can do this with my toes, you can rest a block underneath your ankle or heel. All right, so we're going to bring our feet
to the ground, knees to the sky. Press into the soles of the feet, and we're going to remove our blocker or our blanket. Drop your booty down, bring the soles of the feet together, and let the knees drop off to the sides. Maybe one hand comes to the belly and one hand comes to the heart space. And you rest for just a few moments here, relaxing the low back down, softening the shoulders. Take one more breath here. And we're going to bring the knees together. We're going to take our left ankle rested on top of our right thigh, and we're going to come into a figure 4 here. So spreading the toes on the left foot, you're going to connect to your core, let your low back move to the ground, and you're going to draw that right knee up. So your leg's going to be at a 90-degree angle. You can reach through and grab the outer part of your right thigh if that feels good, or you can stay without that movement. And relax the shoulders, keeping that toes spread on the left foot. And relax the tailbone. So this is a really wonderful alternative to pigeon pose. If you've ever done pigeon, you know that sometimes, especially if the hips are tight, it can be kind of intense. So this is a great option. And it's so much better on your knees. Two more breaths here. Go ahead and release the hands if you're holding onto your thigh. Bring the right foot down to the ground. Take the left foot down. Let's go ahead and switch. Right foot on top of your left thigh, spreading the toes on the right foot. Connecting to the belly, let that low back move to the ground and lift the left leg. So it's at a 90-degree angle, and you can draw yourself up and grip your hands around the back of your thighs and then settle back down, keeping the toes spread, shoulders relaxed, tailbone relaxed. Release the hands, left foot to the ground, right foot to the ground, and windshield wiper the legs. So you're just going to simply drop the knees to one side and then drop them to the other. Go ahead and repeat this a few times on each side. So for our Shavasana today, we're going to do a supported fish pose with a blanket.
You can also do it with a block if you'd like. Traditionally, it's done with a block. I'm going to go ahead and hook my hand around my right leg here and draw myself up. So the way that I'm going to do fish pose, and I just love this because it's so supportive of the spine. I'm going to take my blanket and I'm going to roll it up into a little Swiss roll, and I'm going to lay it right where my spine will be. If you're going to be using a block, you're going to have your block rest about right here on your back. So what you want is your head to be able to relax back over that block. And you might need to adjust it a little bit for comfort. So I'm going to draw my back of my low back up against the blanket, and I'm just going to rest back. So the idea is that our blanket is along the spine and the back of our head rests against the ground. Now, if that doesn't feel comfortable for your neck, if you've had injuries, you might even just walk yourself down your mat just a little bit and rest back so your head can also rest on your blanket. So lots of different variations here. Find the one that feels good for you. And we want to really open up the space around the shoulders and then let the arms rest out nice and wide. This is so good, especially if you are on your smart device or at the computer all day. If that's you and you can do this for 3 to 5 minutes every night, oh, it'll bring you such sweet relief. So if it feels comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. Find your breath and allow yourself to move into stillness. With each breath, allow your collarbone to broaden. Let those shoulder blades relax down. Let the weight of the arms become heavy. When you are ready, bring your attention back to the breath. Nice deep inhale. And release. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. And you're going to draw the soles of your feet to the mat. You're going to lift your hips up and kind of shift them off of your blanket and roll into a little fetal position here just for a second. Press into your hands and then draw yourself into a seat. I'm going to go ahead and sit on my blanket here. Let's bring our hands together at heart space in honor of our practice together today. Thank you so much for showing up for yourself, meeting me here on the mat. Namaste.